I can't believe that I'm 105.
No, I can't believe it either. Look at you.
In my heart, inside, I'm young. I've still got my brain.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I can remember a lot of things. And there are a lot of things that I regret, that I can't read, I can't hear properly, I can't walk properly, but otherwise I'm well.
Welcome back to For Honour's Sake, the podcast from the Association of Jewish Ex-Servicemen and Women. I'm Dan Fox, Chair Emeritus of AJEX, and we are delighted, honoured to be at Brook Meadows House in Westcliff-on-Sea, Southend today with the 105 years young Doris Rose and her wonderful son John, who's joining us as well. Doris was Private Doris Rose in the ATS as a radar operator with the Royal Artillery during World War II. John, Doris, thank you very much for having us today.
You're very welcome.
Perhaps if we could begin at the beginning, where and when were you born, and what was it like growing up?
I remember when I was 5 years old. My memory goes back that far. Now it's not so good.
Of course.
So,
And I believe you were born in Clapton, in East London?
Clapton, yes. Downs Road, Downs Park Nursing Home, from what my mum told me. Yes.
And your father had served in World War One?
Yes, he was. Yes.
And do you remember much about him talking about that or anything?
He didn't talk about it much, but he was in the Royal Artillery Horse Guards.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And he was very proud that I was in the army as well.
I bet he was. And we'll come to your army service soon as well. So born in Clapton, but you grew up in Neasden. The family moved sort of more westwards.
Pardon?
The family moved sort of to West London. You grew up in Neasden.
Yes.
Yeah. And you were at school there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how was school? Did you enjoy it? Did you get on well at school?
Not really. Not really, no.
So you were keen to leave school eventually?
Eventually, yes.
Yeah. And did you go into a particular line of work after school?
Yes, I was a secretary after school. Yeah.
Now you were born in 1920, I hope you won't mind me saying, and by the time you were 19, the world was at war and Britain was at war with the Axis powers.
Yeah.
What was that like, being so young and suddenly finding yourself, in the middle of a war almost?
Unbelievable. It was unbelievable to think we were in the war, and that during the war, I could stand in the street and look up at the sky and see the planes fighting each other.
I remember there's a quote from you a few years ago where you say, "I lived through the Blitz and can remember the Battle of Britain."
Yes.
Before going into the army, with a crowd of girls, opened your eyes to a lot of things.
Yes.
It was very interesting, very exciting. We didn't think of the danger. Things went on around you, and you took it as it came. So you just got on with it.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
it was fun to be there. I enjoyed the army. Yeah.
And it was during the Blitz, I think just before you went into the army, that you met your husband Harry.
Yes.
At the Tottenham Royal, the dance hall in North London.
Yeah, he was in the army as well. Yes.
And you followed him into the army in 1941.
Yes.
And
my dad was very proud because I was in the artillery.
Yeah, I bet he was.
And he was in the artillery in the war.
Yeah. So a family tradition you were able to carry on of an incredible service. So you're in the auxiliary territorial service attached to the Royal Artillery, and your training, the first place you went to for training was Guildford. Do you remember that at all?
Not really. I can remember it. I can't think of the name of it.
Yeah. So that was down in Guildford, and then you were posted.
Guildford. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And do you remember much about the training, about what that was like?
Yes. It was very. Looking back now, it must have been very funny, because he had a very large, loud sergeant major, and he had a group of girls to order about, and a lot of the girls were in tears. Oh. And I stood there thinking, what am I doing here? But it was fun.
Yeah. And was it particularly? How did you find it, sort of being a young Jewish woman in the army? Were you sort of still able to sort of express your identity and be observant, if you were at all?
Well, when I did, there was people used to go to a church parade on a Sunday, and I never went. And they said, "Why didn't you go to church?" And I said, "Because I'm Jewish." And I must say they recoiled in horror, because they said they'd never met a Jewish person before. And I said, "What did you expect?" Hook nose, the rest of it. And in actual fact, I became very, very friendly with.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Again, for so many of the Jewish people that served, the people they served with, it was the first Jewish person that they'd ever met.
No, there was one other Jewish person in the camp. She became a captain.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And I think must have been the first Jewish captain that they had.
Very possibly. So first Jewish female captain, yes, that's
yes.
probably true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after your training as a radar operator, you found yourself posted all around the country. First to Oswestry, out in Shropshire, then over in Anglesey,
yes.
in Wales, and eventually back in London at Gunnersbury Park.
Yes.
Can you tell us a bit about that work and what were you doing? Because radar was new, and really you were a pioneer. You were a radar pioneer.
We were pioneers. Yes, we didn't know what it was all about, and we had training. Yeah. Looking back now, it seems the actual training, we had two little sets, receiver and recorder, and it was all strange.
Yeah. I know, John, your mother has told you some of her stories from radar operation.
Absolutely. Mum,
Yeah.
can you perhaps put on record the two very funny stories? First of all, about the recognition of the aeroplanes story, and then also the call in from the sergeant major about you'd discovered a new secret weapon. But start off with the recognition of the aeroplanes.
There was a recorder and a receiver, and I was a receiver, and I had to pass on the information where the planes were, and I recall that when I called in to say about a plane, and there was a call back, I was called to the army camp, and I was told that according to my plots, I had found a plane that flew at 960 miles an hour. And he said, "We've never had one like that." So I said, "Well, it's definitely 960 miles an hour." He said, "That's impossible." Anyway, he said, "And another thing, Private," he said, "the plane we were shooting at was an English plane." So I said, "Well, wasn't it a good thing I gave you the wrong information?" And he said, "Out, get out." I was in the middle of the group there, and he said, "Get out." And I walked away very sheepishly.
Mum, also, when, before you actually, I think, when...
I'm sorry, John.
Right, before you actually were working in the radar, you had a test, didn't you, with the rest of the girls, recognising what the name of the planes were, and you got 100%. Can you explain what happened there?
Yes. We were taught all sorts of things, as you can imagine, and there was one section where we had to identify the planes that were flying over, and we sat in about 4 or 5 rows of girls, and the sergeant or whoever it was had a plane in his hand, and he went in between the rows of girls and held up the plane, and he'd asked us to write it down what plane it was. And at the end of the examination, I was the only one that got the plane right.
Oh, wonderful.
See? And the other girl said to me, "How did you do that?" I said, "Well, as he was passing through," I said, "he was holding the plane up and I could read underneath what it was." So I had 100% correct.
There you go. Well, that's all good. That's all. Look, any form of intelligence collection is valid. So well done on that. Yeah. Now it was 3 years that you served, 1941 to 44. You and Harry got married in 1943. You and he were brought together by a love of dancing. You were ballroom dancers.
Yes, at the Royal in Tottenham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was something that that carried on for the rest of your lives together.
Yes.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
And what was the work like? It must have been quite long shifts, quite hard work, quite stressful work. The radar operation.
Yes, we had to work any time of the day and night, and it was unbelievable, really. Looking back at it, what we had to do, we had to dig the trenches. We did men's work. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that again. That was so common. The men were deployed. Yeah. They were abroad, and so their jobs were left to the women.
Yeah. Yes, I became an electrician. One of the things I had to do was be an electrician, and now if you asked me to change, well, I couldn't do it. I had no idea.
Yeah.
No.
But as we said before, you were a radar. You were at the forefront of technology. It was a new innovation, and you and the other women of the ATS, the Royal Artillery, were pioneers in what became a vital tool in the fight against the Nazis.
Yeah.
So you must have been very proud. And did you feel there was recognition at the time of the importance of your role?
No idea at all. It's just that radar was a brand new thing, and we were, say, pioneers of it. It was interesting, but as you know, I couldn't have been very good at it because I gave the wrong information.
Well, we all make mistakes. I'm sure they wouldn't have kept you doing it for 3 years if you weren't, if you hadn't been completely au fait with it and completely competent with it. So that was for, I guess, as I say, for 3 years. During that time, did you get a chance to go on much leave, to get back to your family, to see friends and things like that?
Well, we moved all over the country, ended up in Wales, and then came back to London. And I was the last station I was at was Gunnersbury Park in Acton.
Yes.
Yeah. And so got married during the war, and then was due to go to Italy with a group of girls, and I found out that I was expecting, and the only thing to do, I had to leave the army, and I was very annoyed.
Yeah. Again, I've got a quote from you here, because you talked about how, although it sounds strange, my happiest memory was when I worked in the radar team in the army during World War II. For 3 years, you got married. Some of your best memories of this were that you were with a very, very good group of girls. Even though the war was on and we worked hard, you enjoyed it. But as you say, in 1944, you found yourself expecting John, and that meant leaving, while your comrades, they got to go to Amalfi in Italy.
And I was very upset about it. Yeah.
So can I ask, did you ever make it to Amalfi on holiday at all?
No.
You never went in the end at all?
No, no.
But as I say, you were very blessed nonetheless to have John come along in 1944.
Very blessed with a most wonderful son. Yes. And daughter-in-law.
Yeah. And tell you, how many grandchildren? You got grandchildren and great-grandchildren?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the wonderful family. I think they're all quite close by as well, aren't they? So you get to see them, which is wonderful.
Yes.
Now, after the war, you worked, I believe, for an aircraft factory, first of all. You went back to being a secretary.
Handley Page.
Handley Page, yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
And how did you find that? Because I understand there was a moment where you actually helped your manager to win the football pools.
Yes, I did.
So you used to fill out the coupon for him.
I filled out the coupon for him because he didn't know what to do.
Yeah. And I understand that he... Sorry.
Yeah. And 1 week I filled it out and he won I won £21,000, which in those days was a lot of money.
It was. In fact, I understand, I think from the research, it was 70,000, which is the equivalent today of well over £1 million.
Yeah.
And I understand that the way he thanked you for this was probably a little bit stingy.
He called me in and handed me 2 white £5 notes. And then went out and bought his wife a diamond necklace.
Wow. Now, what did you spend your tenner on, though?
I can't remember. Well, I did. I resigned from work.
Oh, you did resign over that. Good for you.
Yeah. And he sent me a telegram saying that if I don't come back to work, he'll throw himself out of the window. Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't go back to work, and he didn't throw himself out.
No, I'm sure.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Not the nicest of stories, but unfortunately, I think the way people treated their staff back then, it just illustrates that to a sad degree. But you left the factory and you went actually to work for some trade unions.
Yes.
I think the furnishing trade union and some municipal ones.
Yeah.
And again, this was a time of great social change. The trade unions were becoming an increasingly important part of our society. So was that an exciting time to be involved with the movement?
Right.
Was it exciting to be involved with the trade union movement then, or was it just another job as far as you were concerned?
Job. Yes.
Yeah.
I was just a secretary. Yeah.
And that's what you worked in all the way up to retirement?
All the way.
Yeah. And then do you remember when did you retire?
1986, I think. Yes.
And I think by that time Harry had sadly passed, and I think about 1975.
Yeah.
But your second husband, was that John Lewis? Lou had come along as well. So were you able to enjoy a retirement together at that time?
Yeah.
And did you find yourself spending much time in England? Did you find yourself travelling much, or what was retirement like for you back then?
I spent a lot of time travelling. Went to America and places. Yeah.
And did you stay in touch with people from the army, from your army days? Did you find yourself meeting up and reunions?
I did, yeah, and then it all faded away. It's like a dream. And I often wondered what had become of them. But I must say that I did enjoy my army days. It was hard work. It was unusual. I was with a very nice group of girls, and we all got on with our jobs. Even though we did jobs, it meant that we dug fences.
Yes, sure. You had to do everything.
Yeah. And I think I became a proficient electrician. But I can't even change a bulb now. Yeah.
And it must have been, was it quite frightening. I mean, it was wonderful and blessed that you had John during the war, but was it a frightening time to be in London, a new mother? The Blitz was over, but there were still the threats of bombing and everything else.
It was a very frightening time. Very, yeah.
And Harry was still away serving?
Yes, yeah.
So you were really, for that period, those last sort of year of the war almost, you were almost a single mother waiting for Harry to return.
Didn't see John until about 2 years after the war finished.
Yeah.
He was still serving.
So Harry, wow. So Harry had served abroad, and he'd been in some of the most dangerous places, I think.
Yeah.
And but like so many of your generation, you got through it.
Yes.
You raised families, and you helped rebuild the country after the war, in so many different ways.
Yeah.
Okay. And today you're a resident at say Brookmeadows House in Essex by the sea. I'm sure they look after you very well here. Do you find yourself with many visitors? Do you find yourself talking about the war with many people and many activities around that?
Not really, no. But they are wonderful here. So I'm lucky to have ended up here. Yeah.
And it's wonderful to hear. And I know you've spoken before about the importance of remembrance as well. So do you get a chance to sort of observe remembrance here and around sort of November or other anniversaries?
My memory used to be very good, but unfortunately now it's not as good, and I can't see to read, which is a very annoying thing. I can't hear very well. At the moment I can't walk very well, but otherwise I'm fine.
Well, you say your memory is bad, but you were able to give me your army number just before. Do you want to repeat that for us?
I think that's one of the things you never forget.
Yeah. So what was your army number?
WWII.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And did you manage to keep any sort of particular memorabilia from the war? I'd say we've got some fantastic photos of you, but I know a lot of people sort of kept their papers and still hold them true and dear.
No, not really, no.
Just the memories now?
Yeah, just memories.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, John, please.
Talking about memorabilia, as I'm not sure if anyone's aware, the reason Mum is here, she's been here nearly a year, is that on the 27th of May last year, her block of flats burnt down. And all 16 flats had to be evacuated, and they're still at the early stages of even deciding on what they're going to do to rebuild. But I did manage to rescue a lot of paperwork that was in Mum's flats before, mould and water damage. And one of the things I found the other day was the Jewish Chronicle that Mum had kept showing my birth.
Oh, wonderful.
In 1944.
Yeah, I think my parents still have mine as well.
Yeah, and it brought a real lump to my throat
I bet.
that you still had that. It was amazing. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, there may not be much that you have left from the war, but like so many who served on the home front, and especially women, you never claimed the medals that you were entitled to. There you go.
No.
Well, we're going to set that right today, because I have for you here an original set of World War II medals. You served for 3 years, which meant that you were entitled to the Defence Medal and the War Medal 1939 to 45. And I hope that if there are remembrance events or any other special occasion, you'll be able to wear those. Can I pin them on you now?
God, I'm a heroine.
You are a heroine. That's exactly what you are. Okay, I just want to be very careful and not actually stab you. There we go.
Oh, I can go on parade.
You can go on parade, yes.
If I could walk.
There you go. Do you remember how to salute still and march? There you go. And we've also got for you This is the Armed Forces Veterans Badge. This is for anybody who served even one day in the military is entitled to this. So to go alongside, again, if you'll allow me to pin that on you, if I may, it's your Armed Forces Veteran Badge as well. If I may just pin that on you too.
I did get one of these before when I was 100.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, there you go. Now you've got two, so sorry about that.
Yeah.
There we go.
I can now go marching.
Absolutely. We come to the AJEX parade, and we'll put you up front leading a battalion.
Yeah, if I could walk.
Well, perhaps there we go. Perhaps we have someone push you instead. There you go.
Yeah.
Doris, John as well, thank you so much. It's been such an honour, again, a fascinating way to talk about not just military history, but social history as well. Your generation who's spanned the decades, spanned the centuries now as well. You are incredible for 105. Everything my generation has, we owe to you. And it couldn't be more of an honour to have met you and to have spoken to you today. So for your time, your insight and your service, thank you very much.
You're welcome. And I can't believe that I'm 105.
No, I can't believe it either. Look at you.
No.
Don't look a day over 21.
Thank you very much. No.
There you go.
In my heart, inside, I'm young. I've still got my brain.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I can remember a lot of things. And there are a lot of things that I regret that I can't read, I can't hear properly, I can't walk properly, but otherwise I'm well. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look it too. So again, fantastic to have met you and thank you so much.
Yeah.